Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. I am in the car. I'm actually traveling, but I wanted to come in and talk to you guys about something that I saw, and it just kind of hit me. And I wanted to express a point of view that can hopefully help you to process things in a certain way. As you guys know, this is the platform for intelligent Black people. So I hope you'll bring your brains to this conversation and not just react based on simple instinct. I saw this video. My friend Willie D posted this video on his page, and it is a video of a single mom who has 7 kids, and she says she's looking for love. She says she wants to find a man, and she was asking, is it possible for her? And so I wanted to give you some frameworks to analyze this. I'm not here to tell you that I know the right answer to this question. I'm simply here to give you a guideline in terms of how to process this. So I'm going to play this video clip, and let me know if you guys can hear me okay, and also let me know if you can hear this clip. I'm going to play this clip right now. Here it goes.
Mom of 7, and I'm 33.
Okay.
With being a mom of 7, do you think that a woman of multiple children is still capable of finding someone?
First, let me ask you before I make the statement. Do the kids have the same father?
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, so this is hold on. We're talking about 7 children, okay? This is no offense to you because it's absolutely possible for you to find a quality man. What makes it a tad bit difficult is that you have to find a man who has the financial footing to take care of you and 7 children. And then you also have to be able to find a man who is going to be willing to come in and create structure in that household. 7 children on 1 person is a lot to create structure in. So there's a lot that this man is going to have to come in and do. On top of that, creating a secure space for you when you have to be a mother and you have to take care of the majority of the things that happen in a house. Are you going to have the ability to be able to love this man in a way that he needs to be loved, in a way that registers as love to him when you have to love 7 other individuals? You're going to need a man who can love those children as his own.
Yep.
That is a huge responsibility to put on a person who does not have those children. Those are not his kids.
Right.
But if I were you, no disrespect, I'll try to work it out with the father.
No, hear me out. Hold on.
All right, guys. What do you guys think? Let's start with a simple yes or no. Do you think that that it's reasonable for her to expect to be able to find a good relationship, even though she has 7 kids and she's single? Let's start there. Let's just armchair response. Yes or no? Do you think that yes, it's reasonable? No, it's not reasonable. She needs to focus on her kids and kind of leave love off the table for a while. What do y'all think? And I'd like to know what you guys think because I want to kind of lay out a framework to kind of look at this conversation. The first thing that I think that is missed in this discussion that nobody talks about is a fundamental, very basic, simple question. The simple question is this: who in the hell told you that it makes sense to go ask podcasters for relationship advice? What is it in the background of somebody with a YouTube channel that gives them the credentials and makes them qualified to evaluate your personal relationships or what you do with your children? You see, this is part of what's wrong with your community right now. This is really what's wrong. You got a bunch of dumbasses on YouTube channels giving you advice on how to live your life. And I'm just going to tell you point blank period, if you ever want to have a horrible life and you ever want to be in the middle of mess for the rest of your life, if you ever want to be in the middle of a bunch of dumb decisions, go to YouTube and let YouTubers tell you how to live your life. Literally, go let YouTubers, let people in the comment section tell you what to do with your kids, and watch how quickly that screws up your kids. Because you got to remember that in the YouTube space is a space where Black trauma really shows itself in high form. That's why Club Shay Shay and all these other platforms are so messed up with all this toxicity, drama, negative energy. It's because that's your community. That's a reflection of your community. Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay, and it was a complete drama queen fest, just gossiping and attacking and everything else. He goes on Joe Rogan and actually has an intellectual conversation. That right there tells you that your community is not filled with people that are qualified to give you advice on how to build a proper family, because your community doesn't do it. 76% of the people that are giving you advice didn't even have a father in the house. And many of them are not married, have never had a healthy relationship in their life, couldn't have a healthy relationship if you gave them $1 million to do it. So these are not qualified to tell you what to do with your kids. So if I'm talking to this mother of seven, I'd say, to hell with these people think. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Like, do you? I'd say, well, what credentials do these people have, other than having a YouTube channel that makes you even want to make yourself vulnerable to their input? Talk to a therapist. Talk to a family expert. Talk to somebody who knows how to rear children properly. Talk to somebody who's got a degree in that shit. Stop talking to dumbasses who have YouTube channels. Did I sound mad? Did I sound triggered by that? That's because we all crazy. All right. Second piece here. Children are a blessing, but you don't understand that what a blessing children are until you get to a certain age and a certain level of maturity. The problem you have in your community is that you have a community that really lacks masculinity. So you have a lot of men who cannot even fathom the idea of doing the work required and having the maturity required to be able to manage a group of children. They never saw it. They never had it. They never engaged with a real man on a daily basis. They never had a man step in for their mother. So they really think that their job is to go around, spread your seed, put your penis in every girl that moves, show up to her house just to have sex and eat dinner, and then go home and literally reject these little children, these little souls, these little innocent kids that might be looking to you for mentorship or leadership. Now, I'm not here to tell every man how to be a man. I can't do that. I can only talk to the men who want to be men and those who already are there. The little boys I can't deal with, but I can tell you in our community, you have a lot of 45-year-old teenagers out here. You have a lot of men who don't want responsibility for anything. They can't even take responsibility for themselves. So the idea of imagining taking responsibility for a group of people, leading, being a leader, leading a group of people, that's beyond their comprehension for some of them. So I can definitely say this: if I was talking to the woman and she wanted my 2 cents, I would say, well, if you're gonna get a man that's gonna help you with those 7 kids, you better find you a real man. You better find a man that knows how to hustle. You better find a man that ain't scared of hard work. You better find a man who understands responsibility. You got to find a man who has an investor's mindset, where he understands that investing in young people is a good way to protect himself in old age. It's a great contribution to the community. You have to find a man who's got real masculinity. Masculinity is not just smoking a cigar. You see guys run around smoking cigars and growing beards because that those beards literally are beards. The beards are fake masculinity used to cover up false masculinity. It covers up their weakness. It covers up their insecurity. So they think that that's masculinity. Drinking liquor, smoking cigars, and growing a beard. That does not make you a man. That does not make you masculine. What makes you a man is having strategic thinking, intelligence. What makes you a man is the ability to work hard for your goals. What makes you a man is being able to compete in the world. What makes you a man is being able to lead properly. What makes you a man is being able to take responsibility for something. That is literally a universal metric of masculinity, even amongst mammals. They measure masculinity by how much territory you can control and how many people you can actually hold down. So a lot of your men are weak. They are the beta to the white man's alpha. They don't know nothing about taking leadership and nothing. All they know how to do is be pleasure seekers. All they know how to do is show up for the sex and dinner and then go home because they don't want responsibility for anything because responsibility scares them. So I'm not saying that every man needs to go and take responsibility for somebody's kids because you may not be qualified for the job, but I am here to say that there are millions of children in the black community. There are millions of kids who, through no fault of their own, have nobody, no man that's protecting them. There are millions of children out there, and what is really fascinating to me is how many people will just look at that situation and say, "Fuck those kids." I just don't understand how you could call yourself pro-black and say to hell with all these little black babies. I don't care nothing about these damn kids. All I care about is my liquor, my weed, and my hoes. That's what you have. You have a lot of little 45-year-old children that walk around. Whoa, you see the one guy, there was one guy when she said she had 7 kids, he pulled his sunglasses down like, "Ooh, I ain't messing with that." And I'm not saying that somebody needs to go, that he needs to go be with her. He shouldn't try it because he's not qualified. He can't do the job. He's going to fail. But what I am saying is that nobody on that panel is qualified to tell her what she's capable of in her life. Nobody. 7 kids, yes, that is a variable. That is a variable. There's many ways to look at that. You know what? I'm gonna tell you where I learned a lot about the value of young people is I used to be a track coach. I used to be a track coach for inner city kids. Most of those kids did not have a father, so a lot of those children looked at me as a father figure. And what I really loved was the ability to influence those children, to be able to talk to those men or those young men and young women and work with them and help them to grow into solid citizens in the black community. That was an honor for me. I did not see that as like, oh, well, I need to get compensation for that. Da, da, da. No, I saw that as an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And so ultimately, I just don't understand this. Why do you hate black children so much? They didn't do anything to create their situation. If that's not a situation for you, you should walk away from that. You should not on any level go in and make somebody feel bad about a situation that's already difficult. If you can't handle it, that's fine. Just stay out of it. So I blame her and I blame the panel. The panel, you can't blame them for just giving whatever dumb advice they were going to give. They can just do that. But the woman, I would say to her, like, why are you even? This is a serious conversation. You need to solve a very serious problem. The first problem you have to solve is what happened here. How did I have 7 children with a man and then have things not work out and then think I can just go and pretend like this never occurred? Now your children are going to be affected by the decisions made between you and your husband. You're going to have to work on that. You're going to have to your kids are going to need therapy most likely because divorce is very painful for children. When their parents break up, it hurts kids. It hurts them, right? So that's the first thing I would say. Then I would say number 2 is no, we're not taking this problem to the podcasters. To hell with those podcasters. These are people that run their mouths on the internet for a living in their mama's basement. They're not relevant to a grown-up situation that you're dealing with. So what we're going to do is we're going to start reading some books. We're going to learn how to raise children. We're going to learn how to attract and how to retain the right kind of man. Because I don't care how many kids, a woman could have 1,000 kids. If she is a good-looking woman who knows how to treat a man well, there are real men out here who say, you know what, it ain't nothing but a thing to take care of those 7 kids. I got plenty of money, and the kids are awesome. We got a little basketball team. We can do little league football. Now I got 7 little people I can train that can help me in my business. We could build a family business, babe. We could build an empire, right? So one of the things that only real men are going to get this. The fake men are not going to get this. They're going to be repulsed by this. But one thing that I learned over time is that weak men create opportunities for strong men to build empires. The punk ass men that neglect their responsibilities give you a wonderful opportunity to get the experience of fatherhood, to get an opportunity to have young people. I do know how many young kids I have that I did not give birth to who are loyal, who are going to be loyal to me to the death, who would fight for me, die for me, take care of me in old age because I poured into them when they were young. And do you understand that it is awesome to say I helped make sure this young person grew up to be an asset to the black community and not a liability? A lot of these kids that go out here and murder people, shoot people up, traumatize the community, robbing people, stealing, hurting other people, it's because nobody cared about them. Everybody neglected them. You, as the leaders of the black, how many of you consider yourselves to be members of the black community? Give me a yes in the chat if you consider yourself to be a member of the black community. Are you a member or are you not? Are you in the community or are you not? If you are a member of the black community, put a yes in the chat if you are a member of the black community. If you are a member of the black community, then that means that all these children are our children. It takes a village to raise kids. Sometimes the parents don't do the right thing. Sometimes you get drugs involved. Sometimes you have other distractions involved. So you have bad culture. That BET baby mama, baby daddy, drunk alcoholic, liquored up, weeded up culture, that's a bunch of BS that takes you and makes you a fraction of who God meant for you to be. So you got a bunch of weak ass people out here making kids and the kids aren't being taken care of and it becomes a nuisance to all of us. Those kids become the carjackers. They become the murderers. They're the ones, your little son's going to school. You don't take care of your little child, but your child go to school and get shot up by somebody else's kid because their daddy wasn't man enough to stand there in his life and mentor him. So he's running around at 14 years old like a little thug because he's unloved. It starts with love. Your community suffers because you don't love yourself. Your community struggles because we don't love each other. Your community struggles because you're so warped that you have people known celebrities that will make fun of Russell Wilson because he cleaned up Future's mess. Future is a piece of shit. Future is a guy that goes around, gets women pregnant, spreads diseases, throws out children, abuses their mothers, traumatizes little children, turns them into future criminals and prison inmates and axe murderers. And Russell Simmons came through and took his son and said, son, I'm going to love you like my own. I'm going to protect protect you like my own. I'm going to make sure that you're safe in this world. I'm going to make sure that I teach you how to be a man. And y'all have men that make fun of him for doing that. And then you wonder why your community's messed up. You wonder why you got so much struggle out here. You wonder why you got so many babies, mamas, and not enough mothers and wives out here. You wonder why you got so many of your men in prison, why so many of your men are struggling and broke and having a hard time out here. Because you're not producing a healthy community. You have an unhealthy culture. That unhealthy culture came from media outlets like BET that took over your culture and said, we're going to turn the black community into a pack of degenerates. We're going to make the community so debaucherous that they not only won't love themselves, they won't even love their children. They're going to hate the damn kids. And it bothers me. It makes me sick. It's like, Lord Jesus, man, can't you just sit down, if you ain't ready, man, to help take care of a kid that ain't got a daddy, then fine, sit your ass on the sidelines and let the real men run the community. That is so what I'm saying to you is that I'm not really talking to the degenerates. I'm not talking to the losers. I'm talking to the people who get what I'm saying. If you get what I'm saying, then I am talking to you. If you do not get what I'm saying, then that is fine. Go to the little kids table and sit to the side and let the white man tell you what to do and watch your community crumble, and that's going to be your world. That's not the world I'm going to live in. Any child that comes in my life, even if I'm with that child for 10 minutes, I'm going to be that child's father for 10 minutes. Every time coach, and when I'm talking about coach, I'm talking about God, every time coach puts me in the game, oh, I'm going to play really hard, even if I'm in the game for 5 minutes. Even if I'm in that child's life for a minute, God puts me in that child's life. That's like putting me in the game. Okay, put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to sacrifice. And you know why I'm okay with that? I'm okay with that because I know that I have the confidence to know that even if I'm helping other people, I can still be strong myself. That me helping children does not hurt me on any level. In fact, me pouring love into children, whether they're my kids or not, really allows me to be an asset to my team. My team is the part of the black community that wants something better. So I want to contribute to the team. So yes, if I see your kids walking around here struggling, broke, hungry, ain't got no guidance, ain't got no mentorship, I'm going to get on the phone with that kid if I can and talk something good into them and hopefully lift their spirit to the point where they become an asset to the community and not a liability. Do y'all know that literally twice so far today, I was on the phone with one young black man whose daddy's not in his life. I was on the phone with another young black man whose daddy got 30 years in prison. This is what I do. This is what I love. And the reason I know that I love this and the reason I'm okay with this is because I know that some of us were built for this. So some of you who are not built for this, that's okay. You were built for something else. You're not a leader. You're supposed to be on the sidelines. Go to the sidelines. Be quiet over there. Be quiet. And don't go listening to people on the sidelines when you're trying to get advice on how to win the game. The coach that's trying to win the football game is not listening to the cheerleaders. He's not listening to the people in the stands. He's only going to talk to the players that are in the game. So if you are in the game, meaning you are fighting for the black family, you're fighting for the black community, you're fighting to make our children better, you're fighting for our future, then those are the people you should be talking to, not the people who are sitting on the sidelines making fun of the people who go out in the game and get tackled, or making fun of the people who go out in the game and are having a hard time, or make fun of the people who are trying their hardest with these lost children and somehow they struggle because of that. I think that that's just a huge reflection. That's like looking in the mirror for our people, and it really doesn't look good. And so do I think that this mother of seven has the right to go looking for love? She has the right to do whatever she wants. Is it going to be harder for her? Probably. It'll probably be more difficult because she can't just bring any old man into the house. However, is it impossible for her? No, it's not impossible. And no podcaster, especially not some podcaster who's some single guy who ain't never took responsibility for nothing, she should never listen to that type of advice. Get advice from people that can really help you with your situation. So I personally think that there are probably men, even if you just think about the financial aspect of taking care of 7 kids, do y'all understand that there are men out here that have enough money where it's easy to take care of 7 kids? And do y'all understand that there are men who have businesses where they say, "Gosh, 7 kids, that's awesome. That's a chance for me to mentor some young people. Those are people that can come and work with me in my business. I can teach them business, and then one day they'll grow up and become millionaires, and they're going to hold it down for me in old age." So pouring into a young person is not just some sort of worthless distraction. That's actually an investment in the future. Little baby. Let's hone it in for a minute. Look at Russell Wilson and Baby Future. When Baby Future is 50 and Russell's 80 or 75, who do you think Baby Future is going to be looking out for? When Baby Future is a healthy man and his fathers, both of his daddies, the Future, the rapper, and Russell Wilson are both old men in the old folks home who need somebody to make sure they're taken care of, who need somebody to help them get things done. Who do you think he's going to be loyal to? Who do you think he's going to show up for when they're in the hospital getting cancer treatments and they need a ride back and forth to the hospital? Who do you think baby Future is going to be loyal to? It sure as hell won't be the guy who was too busy chasing vagina to take care of his own kids. Seriously, it won't be him. It's going to be the man who took care of him. That's who he's going to be loyal to. So what I would say is, you got to understand the difference in the conversations between broke men and men who have resources. They see family differently. The conversations between broken men and solid men, those are different conversations. Broken men are always going to be afraid of responsibility because it's going to crush them. It's like asking a fat out of shape man to play in the Super Bowl. He ain't ready. He ain't ready. Some guy who's eating Cheetos every day can't run 50 yards down the block, and you say, "Hey, I need you to go get in the Olympics and win this gold medal." He can't do it. But you got some men out here that are built like Usain Bolt. You got some men out here that can run and jump and that have the strength to go, that can go out here and compete at a high level. Those are the types of men that you want in your family. And I'm gonna tell you like this, I married a woman with 3 kids, and it is the most wonderful experience of my entire life. I love it. I love it. I didn't have to go have kids of my own. I didn't want to have newborn babies. So these kids were halfway there. So I said, okay, come on, I'll come in and here are the rules. Here's how we're going to do stuff. And all those kids, one of the kids works for me, and she helped me make $250,000 last year. And that's not a joke. She literally helps me run my e-commerce store, which, by the way, is drboycebooks.com. If you go to drboycebooks.com, one of our kids will ship you a copy of my book. My new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. And literally, I made at least $250,000 from the work that she helped me to do. So when people act like kids are just some nuisance and a liability, those typically, unfortunately, are people who are pleasure seekers. These are not people who think long term. If you look at people who think that way, these are typically people who are chasing women and losing wealth, chasing women, or they are just pleasure seekers. They're busy smoking and drinking or whatever and sitting around and doing nothing. So they're not really interested in the work. So it's okay. It's okay to not do the work. Just shut up. That's it. Just be quiet. Like, stop talking. If you don't want to do the work, just don't do the work. Stop trying to speak negatively about the men who do the work. Because if it wasn't for men who were doing the work, then you would have no community, because Lord knows we can't depend on you. Seriously, Lord knows we can't rely on you to hold it down for nobody, because you can't even hold it down for yourself. So seriously. So anyway, let me go back. All right. So by the way, guys, we're doing a stock options summit. If you want to learn about stock options, we're going to do a stock options summit in Los Angeles. If you want to get an invitation, or if you'd like to also get a copy of a free training I did called How to Make Money Without Working, text the word options to 87948. If you text not options, I'm sorry, text money. Text money to 87948 and I'll send it to you. Text money to 87948. All right, so hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm gonna answer a couple of your questions and I'm gonna get out of here. All right. Didn't you chase your wife? No, I didn't chase her. My wife has been my friend for a long time. Let's see here. It's been a while since I hopped on these live streams. Well, good to see you, RJ McKenzie. Welcome. First, she's got to seriously repent for her wedlock sins deeply from her heart. Okay, before she turns over to the state. Okay, repent for her wedlock sins. Okay, that's interesting. I don't have much to say. I don't know about repenting and stuff, but okay. It sounds interesting. Those women knew that Future had multiple kids by multiple women. Yeah. The women and the men contribute to this nonsense. I personally think that everybody who wants to have children or get married should be incentivized to take a class. I think that they should give them money and say, before you have a kid, we need you to take a class on raising kids. We also need you to take a class before you get married. We'd like for you to take a class on how to stay married, because broken families is one of the biggest problems in the black community. That's why you lose a couple $1 trillion of wealth every generation just because your families are broken. I don't know if y'all know that or not. Let's see. Well, go seek her out, Dr. Boyce, and help the young lady. I don't know her, but if y'all know her, my email is boyce@boycewatkins.com. So feel free to forward me information. I'd be happy to share my perspective for sure. Would you have ever married a woman with 7 kids, whether it's the same father or multiple fathers? It would depend on the woman. I think that's a good question, right? I mean, the 7 kids, it's a variable. I'm not even going to say it's a liability or a benefit, because, if you get to a certain stage in life, you may not want to have a bunch of kids. You may not want to start over again. I didn't want to change diapers. I don't want to do that. So I actually enjoyed it. I was like, kids are fun. Like I don't know who came up with this rule that kids are just this pain in the ass. Like, kids are actually quite fun if you have emotional maturity. And that's what you're missing in the community is A lot of your men are just broken mentally, so they don't have the emotional maturity to even know how to connect with a child or a young person. Like if you really stretch your mind as a human being, then you understand like sitting there listening to the 13-year-old tell you about her day is a way for you to grow as a man. Like you evolve from this stuff. And pay attention now. Give me a yes or no if you've noticed this. Malcolm X said this. He said the black man is kept as a child in America. They want the black man to be a child. So a lot of our reactions to things are very childlike. We have a lot of childish behavior. Even Club Shay Shay, 55-year-old Shay Shay is the gossip queen of America now. That's he's become the Wendy Williams with muscles, right? And that's very childish behavior, right? Instead, a more mature approach would be to say, I have this big platform, I have an opportunity to really impact the black community on a significant level and do some important things and have meaningful interviews with scientists, doctors, and lawyers like Joe Rogan does. Joe Rogan gets 11 million listeners a day. He gets more listeners than Shay Shay, and he has very intelligent, thoughtful conversations about important issues. All Shay Shay does is have comedians on that gossip about each other. So that speaks to the fact that one of the challenges that the grown men in the community have is that you're surrounded by a bunch of men who have been taught to behave like children. So again, it just it's something that's just real. It's honest. I know people get mad for, when I talk about it, but it's true. Tell me it ain't true. Look around your community. Look at how many black women do you even feel protected by these weak ass men? Do you even feel safe? If you see a group of black men around you, do you typically feel like it's going to be a good thing, like they're going to help you and protect you and support you, or do you feel like you're going to get something negative? If you're around men from the Nation of Islam, you're going to get a different kind of energy than if you're around a bunch of men who unfortunately have been impacted by the culture. All right, so let's see. Seeing the kids is a blessing and legacy takes getting older. Young people don't understand being a parent or mentor to kids. Yeah, that's so true, right? When I had my first relationship with a woman with a child when I was about 22 years old, and I was very intimidated by it. I did not know what to do. I felt like it was going to interrupt my fun, and it really concerned me. Eventually, though, I learned that this little kid was awesome. It was a lot of fun to have him around, and it feels good to mentor another person. And I don't understand why people think that that's such a sin or a crime or a curse. It's not. It's not. Let's see here. Hey, how you doing, Miracle Tech? Good to see you. That sounds bitchy. The nation, yeah, that's different for sure. Absolutely. There are a lot of stepdads in our community. Rich do adopt kids. They usually go overseas to get children to adopt. That's true, right? And really, I don't use the term stepdad very often. I don't. I call myself a bonus dad. And what I tell our kids is I say, you've got two dads. You got two great dads that are going to look out for you. That means you're going to be protected for the rest of your life. So our daughters are very, very secure emotionally. They don't have fear, like they're not going to get R. Kelly'd or something weird. Because, the R. Kellys take advantage of broken, weak households. They tend to take advantage of children that are not protected. So if you protect your children, then you don't have as much of a problem with some of the stuff that happens in a lot of families, because the broken family leaves a lot of our kids very vulnerable. That's where they get traumatized. Let's see. How's this young lady made any arrangements with the fathers of these 7 kids? I think she has one father. I don't know how many. I don't know. I think she has all the kids with one father. Stop hating on Shannon. Well, Damien. Well, you got to stop hating on me, Damien. Why are you hating on me, Damien? Let's see here. Damon says a lot of rich. Okay, let me see. Let me keep reading. I moved out of the U.S. because I didn't feel safe. Well, I know somebody else actually who moved out of the U.S. because they didn't feel safe. Literally this year. I'm 21 and I have a younger brother, and to this day, I don't know the things that my parents do. Okay. Stop dogging men for holding women responsible for their own actions, man. Well, how about you hold? How about this? How about this? How about we talk about it like this? That's a good point you make. You feel like you're holding women responsible. Fine. I don't have a problem with people being held accountable. Are you holding yourself accountable? Are you holding yourself accountable? See, that's the problem with a lot of these men talking about we holding women accountable. We holding women accountable. Well, okay, well, I'm gonna hold you accountable. How do you respond to that? Well, a lot of them start bitching. They start getting mad. Well, Dr. Boyce, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm holding you accountable. So, because if women should be okay with you holding them accountable, you should be okay with people holding you accountable. Because one thing you'll find with a lot of these men, including Kevin Samuels, is that when you look in their personal lives, they can't stand the same level of scrutiny that they were giving to other people. Remember, Kevin Samuels died alone. He died alone. His most famous phrase was, "You gonna die alone." But that dude died alone. He died next to a 32-year-old woman who did not care about him. Some chick who literally was like, "Ugh, get this old man off of me." She's trying to figure out how to get out of the situation because she's worried about getting charges pressed against her. I don't know what the hell was going on. That dude died alone. And he up here telling women, "I'm holding women accountable, telling them how not to die alone." Maybe you need to start at home, brother. Start with yourself. All of you. If you can't hold yourself accountable, then you can't hold other people accountable. And that's the thing that people don't get. And because you have so many so many men, you can call them queens of accountability. These queens of accountability, they want to hold everybody else accountable but themselves. Well, I'm gonna hold you accountable. How come you ain't got a good job yet? I'm gonna hold you accountable. How come you complaining about money? Cause what? Get your money up. You ain't got enough money to keep the woman that you want, so that's why you think women are gold diggers. I'm gonna hold you accountable. Why are you up here complaining about women that hurt you and broke your heart? You can't attract a good woman. What's wrong with you? Why is your penis small? Like what? I'm holding you accountable. I'm holding you accountable. Right? Seriously, I just think all this like, and I get it. The gender wars make money. The gender wars get people views on their YouTube channel, and that's what they're pouring into. They're pouring into the toxicity. That's how you get the attention. That's how you get the views. But for those who want to be mature about it, um, this is just all wrong. Seriously, people literally come in and they try to hold everybody else accountable, but they don't hold themselves accountable. They just don't. All right, so let's see. Let me see. Next question. So you got to be a real man to take on some other man's responsibilities. Yeah, you do. And I'm not saying that you have to do it. I'm saying that only a real man can do that, right? And but only a real man would be willing to do that. It doesn't mean you're not a real man if you don't do that. It just means that, it just means that you should probably just be quiet, because remember, this is your community too. So abandoned children grow up and they become the criminals, they become the carjackers, they become the murderers. They're the ones, you say, oh well, I'm not going to take, I don't care nothing about nobody else's kids, I'm gonna take care of mine. Well, guess what? Your kid gets shot in the head because somebody else's kid was abandoned, and that kid ends up hurting somebody. So really, when you talk about the black community, in my view, all those kids are our kids. All those kids are our kids. So whether you are a football coach or a track coach, or if you are just helping out at the community center, or if you marry a woman that's got kids and you love them as their own, you're making the community better. And the reason a lot of guys don't want to do it is not there's nothing wrong with the kids. The kids didn't do nothing wrong. It's because you don't see anything bigger than yourself. You really think that the world revolves around you, and that all your job is to go chase pussy and smoke weed and drink liquor and hang out with your hoes or whatever, and that's fine. You can do that, but just don't get in the way of the men who are willing to do that. Don't get in the way of the men that are willing to do that. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's see here. Let's see. Stop hating. Okay, I don't know I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. Derek Lane says you need to stop hating Kevin already. No, I didn't hate Kevin. Actually, I like some things that Kevin said, but I think it was BS that Kevin built his whole career attacking black women, and you should not think that that is acceptable at all. He could have made all his points without building his YouTube channel by really making black women feel bad about an already difficult situation. Because I would not, and I know women who do that to black men, and I don't support them either. Let's see here. Let's keep going. You're not going to win this, boys. Move on. I've already won, brother. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to defeat you. I'm very happy with my life. Pete Funkerson, as men, one way we can hold ourselves accountable is stop sleeping with anything walking. That is true. That is true. Yeah, I mean, every time there's a single mother, I bet you that there was a father who helped make her a single mother. You're not holding those men accountable, are you? You're going after the women, but you're not going after the men. That's a punk move. If you can't confront another man, then but you can only confront women, that's not that does not look good on you, right? So my feeling is like, look, if you see a kid that doesn't have a mother and a father, and you can't investigate to find out like where's his father at, what's going on here, and you assume that it's the mother's burden and the mother's fault, that tells me that you're either not a thoughtful person, you don't think, or you don't want men to be held accountable. You will confront a woman. I know men like that. I know women who will beat the shit. I know men who will beat the shit out of a woman, but are scared when other men walk into the room. So that's the issue. Okay, let's see. Boys, you need to just stick to finances. I am sticking to finances actually, because the broken family is the number one wealth drainer in the black community. Give me a guess if you understand how many trillions of dollars in economics is lost in the black community because you don't have good families. Give me a guess if you've heard me speak to you on many occasions how the average wealth level of a functioning family is higher than the wealth level of a family that is broken. Give me a yes if you understand that when you raise and mentor children to help with the family business, you are far more likely to be successful than a person who tries to do everything by themselves and neglects their kids. Give me a yes if you understand this. This is a very economic conversation. If you don't understand that, then maybe I might not be the guy for you, and I get that. That's fine. But I'm just telling you, no, this is a very financial conversation. And in fact, actually, a lot of men can't take responsibility because they don't feel financially secure enough to do that. Men who have money they're not tripping over the fact over what it costs to feed 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. They just don't. They're just not. It's not a big deal. It's like whatever. I made 300,000 last year. Like I can take care of the kids. People that are struggling, yeah, it is a little bit harder, right? And part of the reason that I really speak to men directly and say stop being the white man's bitch, meaning stop searching for jobs working for white people, is because you need to have your own businesses. Black men need to have businesses. Black men need to be investors. Black men need to be wealth builders. Black men need to be captains of industry, because if you keep walking around like the white man's punk, searching, sir, man, I need a job, sir. If you can't, I need a job. I can't get no job. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having a job. I'm not shaming people that have jobs. I'm saying that if you get that job, you need to learn how to get a side hustle. You also need to take that extra money. Don't put it in stripper thongs. Put that money in your investment account and make a plan for the damn future, because he will always keep you as a little boy, and they're always going to show you up. What they do is they show up and they come to the black woman. They say, your men are nothing. Your men, they don't like you. Your men don't like your children. Your men ain't got no money. Your men are weak. But I'll take care of you, girl. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna be outcompeted by the oppressor. I'll be damned. If I have no problem. I have no problem standing up to belligerent black women. I have no problem standing up to ridiculous black men. I have no problem standing up to racist white people. That is something I decided when I was 20 years old. I said, I am not going to be your bitch. I'm not here to be your beta. I'm not here to be your subordinate. I am not afraid of you. And so black men, you got not all of you, not all of you. Some of you get it. Some of you are there. But those that don't get it, you got to change your attitude, man. You got so many things you could do with your time on the YouTube channel other than sitting around and complaining about women who look like your mother. You literally are sitting around talking about your own mothers like they are the worst thing that ever happened to you. Ain't none of y'all ain't got the nuts or the guts to ever talk about what the white man done did to you. You ain't got nuts or guts to talk about any serious issues happening in your community. You don't have the guts to make a plan, a strategy, or come up with a solution. All you really think in all the areas, all the problems you have, all the things that are affecting you, all the things that keep you up at night. You can only come up with the black woman, the woman that looks like your mama, as public enemy number one. Does anybody else understand how demented that is? That literally the black woman, the one who stood by you since slavery, the ones who wiped your nose when you were a little snot-nosed baby, the one who changed your nasty ass diaper, that's your greatest enemy? Are you kidding me right now? If that is not the definition of self-hate, I don't know what is. That's a mental illness, bro. Something's wrong with you. I'm not saying that women are perfect. We got the Slicky Hondas and the Cardi B's and the Lizzos. Y'all have heard me talk about all of that. I told you I don't back down from belligerent women either. I've talked about all this. But man, you got all this smoke for black women and ain't got no smoke for the white man who you call boss and daddy every day of the week. You ain't got nothing, no smoke for the white man who's been oppressing you since you were a child, who's got you literally sitting at the table with the 5-year-olds while he's building rocket ships and shit. You sitting over here talking about about whether the Dallas Cowboys won last night or not, right? like as if Jerry Jones is gonna give you some of that money. Jerry Jones ain't gonna send you no check when the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. So why are you spending all your time talking about the Cowboys? What game are you in? What game are you trying to win? And if you can't tell me what game you're in and what game you're trying to win, that bothers me, because that tells me that you're not a competitor. You're not competing. So stop arguing with women. That's one, for young guys that are listening, this is one piece of Uncle Boyce advice for you. Stop arguing with women. Just stop it. And I didn't, it took me a while to learn this, but literally stop arguing with women. Just pick the one that you want, make the choices you want to make, and be what they call, I forgot what did they call them, gamma males or whatever. Just be the quiet man who goes along about his business, builds his empire, and puts himself in the position that he wants to be in, and make sure that his people are good, whoever your people happen to be. That's it. I'm done talking, guys. It's a Saturday, so I kind of ranted a little bit. I hope that that's okay. Again, if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. You can disagree. You can argue about it all day long. You can talk crazy about me on the internet. I don't watch any of your videos, by the way, but if you want to make videos, that's cool. Kevin Samuels made a whole video about me. I never saw it, and he didn't say anything negative. He was actually supportive of me. So I appreciate that. But I didn't even watch Kevin's videos. I didn't watch Kwame Brown's videos. I don't watch any of the videos because I don't give a shit. I don't care. And that's another thing about being a man is you stop worrying about what people think about you. Stop arguing with women. Grow up, dude. Seriously. Anyway, I'm done, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good day. And my website is drboycebooks.com. My new book is called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. So feel free to go take a look at that. Also, we are doing the Stock Options Summit in Los Angeles. If you go text the word money to 87948, I'll send you not just a link for that, but I'll also send you a training I did called How to Make Money Without Working. So text money to 87948. And also my website is boycewatkins.com. You guys know every morning, 7 days a week, we're doing it. We're getting it done. We have financial consciousness training. So it's like a boot camp, a continuous boot camp where we are going to win the money war. We are going to win the battle. We're going to build the future. We are getting it done every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. We do financial consciousness training because it's very important for us to be financially woke and for us to be financially clear on what we're trying to do for the future. We must have a battle plan. We must execute. We got to do this for our kids. That's how we're going to win. So even those who hate me, you're still welcome to come in because I don't care what anybody else says. We getting this done. I'm not backing down to nothing. I'm not backing down to racism. I'm not backing down to this situation. I'm not backing down to oppression. We are meant to win. So let's get in the game and let's win. So God bless you guys. I will see you soon. Y'all have a good day. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.